one thing we normally do during our child development, can you please put that computer away? One thing we normally get to do during our child development unit is stations around the room. And I have like 5 stations set up and we do it over the course of 2 days. And you rotate through the stations doing the fun little activities. 2 of them are the videos that you already watched. And then one of the stations is a diapering and swaddling station. So today I'm going to do the demonstration like I normally do. I'm going to swaddle and diaper the baby. And then you're each going to have a chance to practice swaddling and diapering the baby. Okay? So what does it mean to swaddle? Does somebody want to?
Hand it off McGuire to Mr. Alio, please.
Go ahead, Donovan. Okay, so you wrap it up in a blanket. What were you going to say, AJ?
You put it out in the cage. Put it in the cage.
Okay. If you can't say something appropriate, please don't say anything, okay? Any other thoughts about what swaddling is or why we swaddle? Okay, so it kind of prevents them from grabbing things or moving too much. Any other ideas, Ryan? It does keep them warm. Good, what else? It does help keep them calm. So when a baby is swaddled, remember, a newborn baby has just come out of their mom's uterus, right? And it's very snug and tight. And then when the baby comes out into the whole world, they're like, you know, free, but it's also a little intimidating. There's this little tiny baby in this big world. So they feel really comforted when they're snug and wrapped up tight. It gives them comfort. So babies also startle very easily. What does it mean if somebody startles you? Aaron? Yeah, it's like a scare. So even sometimes the slightest breeze, if you walk by a newborn baby, could startle them. And if they get startled, they wake up. And we want to keep a sleeping baby sleeping, right? So that's part of the reason that we swaddle. So I'm going to unswaddle the baby. And I'm going to do the diaper change first, and I'll do the swaddling at the end once the diaper is changed. So a few things to keep in mind when you're diapering a baby. A newborn doesn't move too much. But once they get to be 5, 6 months old and they start being able to roll, and even more so when they're 8 months and they start crawling, if you're on the floor changing a diaper and the baby rolls over and starts crawling away and you're in the middle of a diaper change, it can be really challenging, right? So there's a few things that we can do to make it easier when we're diapering the baby. So one thing we want to do is have all of our supplies ready. So we'd want to have our clean diaper. We'd want to have our wipes. If you're using any kind of diaper cream to prevent diaper rash or anything like that, you'd want to have that on hand and ready to go. So I've got my clean diaper, I've got my baby, we'll pretend I have our wipes here. First, we've got to take off the pants so we can get to the diaper. We're gonna assume that this diaper has poop in it, okay? Which is gonna be a little bit messier to clean and to change. So one thing I always like to use as a tip is I always like to get the clean diaper in place under the baby's bottom so that there is something there to protect it in case the baby pees while you're changing or something like that. So now we have a diaper underneath, ready to go in the place. Has anybody here ever had to change a diaper before? Okay, a couple people, good. You what? Yeah, you said, no way, I'm not doing this. Okay, so you'll notice that the Velcro goes across the front, which means the clean diaper, the Velcro should be in the back. So it can come up and around, right? If you can't see, you guys can move a little closer to the back, okay? So I'm going to open the diaper, and one thing I would do if this is a poopy diaper, I would use the diaper itself to do one big clean wipe, okay? Hang on, this is stuck. I would wipe the baby really good to get the majority of the poop off. Notice I left the dirty diaper in place, because if you just take the dirty diaper out, now the baby's poopy butt is all over the clean diaper, which we want to avoid, right? So I've left the dirty diaper in place, and then I would get my wipes, and you always want to wipe a baby from front to back. Okay, so I would use the wipe, I would wipe from front and then back, and I'd put the dirty wipe right there, and then I'd get another wipe, and you wipe until the baby is clean. Once their bottom is clean, then you can just remove the dirty diaper, wrap it up, put it in your little diaper genie or your trash bag or whatever. Bless you. Then your clean diaper is all ready to go. You can pull it up over the baby's belly button. You want it nice and high in the front, and you also want it nice and high in the back. Why would that be important? That we have it nice and high around the baby's waist. What do you guys think? What do you think? Yeah, number one, so it doesn't fall off, but also, if this was not high enough in the back, like let's just say we didn't put it up that high, what happens now when the baby poops? Where do you think it's gonna go? Yes, it's gonna explode outside the diaper, which is defeating the purpose. You want the poop to stay in the diaper, right? So making sure it's up nice and high to cover their lower back and also nice and high in the front. So if they do fall asleep and roll under their belly, everything stays in the diaper. Go ahead.
Does this mechanical baby make some better?
It does not. No. Okay, one last thing I want to point out is that the baby's leg has 2 layers of elastic on the diaper, okay? You can see this outer layer because it's a ruffle. Can you guys see the ruffle? Okay. Inside the ruffle, there's another layer. Can you guys see that or no? Can you hear me clicking it? Okay. There's 2 layers of elastic. That's to make sure that the poop and the pee stays in the diaper around the leg. So one last thing before I finish the diaper is I always put my finger in there and pull out the elastic layers so they're kind of sealing the leg. So I would go to both sides, pull out that inside layer so there's a nice seal around the baby's leg. But everything is going to stay right where we want it, okay? So now the diaper's on. We can put the baby's pants back on. Put it going on the right way. This is not as easy as it looks. Usually the baby's wiggling or kicking their little feet. Not always as simple as putting it on a doll, okay? And then we're gonna swaddle the baby back up. So one thing to keep in mind is that we don't want the swaddle to be anywhere near the baby's face, okay? Remember when we watched the video about pregnant death syndrome, they talked about the simple sleep environment, making sure there's no loose blankets in the crib or anything like that to make sure that the baby is safe. So just gonna move baby to the side here. I'm gonna fold a corner down on the blanket. See that, AJ? I folded the corner down. That's where I'm gonna be putting the baby's head, just over that folded area. Why do I wanna put the baby here like this? What's gonna happen if I wrap up the baby? What do you think, Leon? Yeah, the baby's gonna suffocate. So I usually line up the blanket with the baby's shoulders. So now, when baby gets wrapped up, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one corner. Yep. There are blankets that they make that are already made into swaddles, and I can show you those in a second. This is how you would swaddle them if you don't have one of those specialty blankets. Okay. So I'm taking this and I'm putting it across. I'm basically turning baby into a little burrito. Does anybody else like burritos like I do? Chipotle, babe. Okay. So I've wrapped that around both arms and I've tucked it snugly under the baby's back. Then I'm going to take the bottom of the blanket. I'm going to pull it up. Do I want to just leave it like this? What should I do? What do you think, Emily? Tuck it? Yeah, either tuck it like this under that layer, or you can just fold it down so it's not there. And then lastly, this last part of the blanket comes up and across and gets wrapped underneath. So now we have our little baby burrito. What do you guys think? Easy peasy? What do you think, Liam? Okay, so normally you wouldn't swaddle a baby. Once they start rolling, it would become a little more dangerous to swaddle them because they need their arms if they roll over to be able to pick their face up off the ground. All right, I'm gonna sign out here.